Fables of La Fontaine, against those who are hard to please. Had I, when born, from fair Calliope, received a gift such as she can bestow upon her lovers, it should pass from me to Aesop, and that very soon, I know. I'd consecrate it to his pleasant lies. Falsehood and verse have ever been allies. Far from Parnassus, held in small esteem, I can do little to adorn his theme, or lend a fresher luster to his song. I try, that's all, and plan what one more strong may some day do, and carry through. Still, I have written by the wolf's speech and the lamb's reply. What's more, there's many a plant and tree were taught to talk, and all by me. Was that not my enchantment, eh? Our peevish critics say. Your mighty work all told, no more is than half a dozen baby stories. Write something more authentic then, and in a higher tone. Well, list, my men. After 10 years of war round their towers, the Trojans held at bay the Grecian powers. 1,000 battles on Scamander's plain, minings, assaults, how many a hero slain. Yet the proud city stoutly held her own, till, by Minerva's aid, a horse of wood before the gates of the brave city stood. Its flanks immense the sage Ulysses hold, brave Diomed, and Ajax, churlish bold. These with their squadrons will the vast machine bear into fated Troy, unheard, unseen. The very gods will be their helpless prey, unheard of stratagem. Alas, the day that will the workmen their long toil repay. Enough, enough, our critics quickly cry. Pause and take breath, you'll want it presently. Your wooden horse is hard to swallow, with foot and cavalry to follow. Why, this is stranger stuff, and now you please, than Reynard cheating ravens of their cheese. What's more, this grand style does not suit you well. That way you'll never bear away the bell. Well, then, we'll lower the key, if such your will is. Pensive, alone, the jealous Amaryllis sighed for Alcippus in her care. She thinks her sheep and dog alone will share. Tircis, perceiving her, slips all unseen behind the willow's waving screen, and hears the shepherdess, the zephyrs pray, to bear her words to lover far away. I stop you at that rhyme, cries out my watchful critic of phrases analytic. It's not legitimate, it cannot pass this time. And then I need not show, of course, the line wants energy and force. It must be melted o'er again, I say. You paltry meddler, prate no more. I write my stories at my ease, easier to sit and plan a score than such a one as you to please. Fastidious men and overwise, there's nothing ever satisfies. Well, there you have it. And what's all this about? Well, Calliope was a goddess who could give her lovers the gift of poetry. So basically he says, if I was Calliope's lover, maybe she would give me this great gift of poetry, but anyway, then I would be on par with Aesop. But, I'm not that great. I'm just a guy who writes stories about wolves talking, lambs answering, trees and flowers speaking to each other, stuff like that. And whatever I do, the critics complain. So I try to speak like Homer and tell the story of the fall of Troy. And then, no, don't do that. So, fine, I'll do something else. I'll tell this love story. Oh, no, whatever I do, the critics are going to complain. So, at the end, he says, these fastidious guys, these picky people, it's easier to plan and write 20 of these fables than it is to please these critics. So that's basically it. He writes his stories because he enjoys doing it, and people like to listen to them. But he's never going to please the critics. Complainers are always going to complain. No matter what you do, there's always going to be those people who are like, hey, that's no good. I once heard a saying that it takes a real craftsman to build a barn, but any jackass can kick it over. And that's basically what a critic is. These critics, they come and destroy your work, or in their mind, that's what they think they do. And foolish people might listen to these critics. Or worse, if you start listening to these critics. Whatever you do, you're not going to please everybody. Even in the Bible, the famous lecture on the Mount or Sermon on the Mount, whatever you want to call it, Jesus goes and tells the Sermon on the Mount. And afterwards, it's reported that some of them understood it, some of them didn't. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't. Some of them complained about it. Those are the complainers. So even Jesus himself, the supposedly most perfect human being, the person, the hero we are all supposed to aim towards, the hero that heroes aim towards. Human beings, normal people have heroes. And in the Christian ethos, those are the saints. We strive to be like the saints. The saints are such wonderful examples of human beings that we try to be like them. Well, the saints, they try to be like Jesus. It's like all of us down here at the base of the pyramid, and then you got this very small group of saints, and then at the very top, you have Jesus. So, if people are complaining about what Jesus said, what hope is there for the rest of us? So, the advice that La Fontaine is giving us is do what makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not causing any problems. If you're good at something, you could have many talents, and jealous people are going to criticize you and say, oh, that's terrible. Yeah, well, you do it. What can you do? What's so great about you? And you'll notice that people who have mastered something, whatever it is, they recognize, they understand the road to mastery is very difficult. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of dedication. Masters recognize masters. So if you're if you've mastered any skill, judo, for instance, well, someone who's mastered chess will see that, or someone who's mastered the flute, they understand the work, the dedication, the sacrifice it takes to be good at something. Those aren't the critics. It's the lazy people, the flakes, people who try something, do it for a few weeks, get bored, drop it, move on. These people never accomplish anything. And these are the people who like to criticize. And if you're good at something, they're the one, oh, easy for him. He's had all these, privileges. He's a white man. He's privileged. This is the common thing people are saying these days. Privilege, yeah. Nothing is easy. That's what all this equality of opportunity versus equality of outcome. Everybody should have the opportunity to do something. Some people have natural talents and make the rest of us look like fools, but with hard work and dedication, we can also achieve mastery. Now, someone with natural talent, natural ability, their level of mastery is probably going to be much higher than what we could ever achieve through hard work and perseverance if we don't have the talent. But we can still become masters if we put our mind to it. But everybody has critics. Jesus has critics. Everybody. There's nobody on this planet who can do anything that doesn't have critics. So don't let these people knock over your sandcastle, because that's all they are. They're jackasses in the barn. Anyway, something to think about. Hopefully that gives you a little encouragement, something to think about, something to ponder. If you have anything you'd like to add down below, please. Till next time, goodbye.